Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Great Awakening Generator, the Words of the Light series with me, Rose McNair, and Claudia Tidgens. Hello, Claudia.
Good morning, everyone. Hello.
Yeah.
I hope you have been able to access a little bit of your Lemurian memories in the last week, because I think we're going to continue on that subject.
We are definitely continuing on the subject. So, everyone, I had these downloads all in like one after the other, and so this is why we're doing this recording for the weeks. All right, so just so this is what I need to say about that. So welcome and thank you. And I hope since you watched the last one, you've had a great week and you've been able to, like Claudia was saying, connect even a little bit, I think, with your Lemurian connection. Remember, if you are watching this, if you are feeling drawn to this, it means you have some inkling of it. You are connected to it. So remember that people who find this and do not resonate with it, they won't be here. They would have gone. They wouldn't have given us the attention span, right? So you're here because something in it speaks to you. So today, Claudia, do you want to say anything about this before I talk about what we're talking about for today? Anything more? And then we'll do some language.
You are going to draw a card, aren't you?
I have drawn a card. Yes. I have drawn a card, and it's a very interesting card. This card made me cry a little bit. And I'm going to show it on my screen now first, okay? So this morning we're talking about, the card is from the Beyond Lemuria. Because remember this, I don't know why, maybe this is what we were supposed to do now. We got guidance. Beyond Lemuria Oracle Cards. Remember, I received them. When you'd be watching this, will be like a week later from the last one we did. And so I will have received them in the week prior to that. Okay. So that's the card. The card is a number 33 card, and it's called The Journey to Wholeness. All right. Now, this is what it looks like, but for benefit, I want to share it on the screen, and I want us to be able to see this card to its full extent.
Nice.
Right. Here we are. I'll share it. Let's have a look. Now, I couldn't get this card in the middle of the page, but can you see this well, Claudia?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so if you look at this image, this is the image where my mouse is, right? Here is a woman, and she seems to have around her, the upper part of her body is there. And the lower part looks a little bit like she's got tentacles coming off the hands, and it's flowing. The eyes are what I will point out to. These are sad eyes. It's a very beautiful, beautiful image that was painted by Izzy Ivy, the lady who has created, or the person who has created the Beyond Lemuria cards, Oracle cards, and written. She's also, interestingly enough, written the information about the cards, etc. I want to read this to you now. I ask for your patience because it's not a lot, but I ask for your patience and ask you that if you're interested in this, go and have a read of what this card means in details, but I want to read it for our benefit. This is the number 33, Journey to Wholeness is what the card's called. The description of it in a nutshell is self-acceptance, wholeness, unconditional love, soul fragments returning, accepting others as they are, staying energetically present, accepting all parts of self, healing internal dis-ease, not disease, dis-ease. Oh, wow. Now, I'm not going to read the divination meaning because we will find the divination meaning. I've already described that, but I want to read in particular Izzy's narrative about what she felt when she painted this card. She starts off by saying, traditional Japanese painters do not paint the eyes of a deity before the rest of the body. As they say, this is the element that brings it to life. But for this image, I did just that. It was one of the most profound painting experiences I have experienced. I created deep into the night, and no matter how hard I tried, I could not put my paintbrush down. At 3 a.m., I was coaxed away, and as I stepped back, I burst into tears. I was deeply upset at the being that had come alive on the canvas. It could be sensed in my art space and felt as if it was within me. The canvas held a half-formed being, part woman and somewhat octopus. She was troubled. The process she was in was quite disturbing to her. After doing a clearing, I was able to sleep. The next morning, my housemate inquired what had happened in the night, as his pictures were falling off the walls. As I worked on the painting over the next week, it felt like this being was undergoing healing. She was brought to wholeness and became quite beautiful with evolved energy systems and a sense of enlightenment and knowing about her. I have to come to realize that this being is a hybrid. There are mixed reports about what caused these beings to be this way, but it seems there was a distinct sense of upset and dis-ease amongst them. And they had to, I beg your pardon, and they had an intense longing to be whole again. Some say the Lemurian hybrids were experiments done by the Atlanteans as they pushed what was possible. Others say they were a result of vibratory similarities as the Lemurians became more physicalized, causing them to mix with that of animals, depending on where their vibration was. Most accounts associate the hybrid form with dis-ease and a sense of being outcast. It is understood that hybrids started appearing toward the end of the Lemurian epoch. As they were densifying and the Atlantean mind-based intellect interfered with the ebb and flow of Lemurian ways. Though this is not what caused their demise. That is the backstory of this card. So I am going to stop sharing the screen now. But again, it's Journey to Wholeness, the number 33 card in the deck. Right. How was that?
That was quite sad. I did feel a big sadness in my chest.
There's a big sadness. What it reminded me of, currently, we are going through the time when we have been told that this is the age where the divine feminine rises. So that kind of makes me really sad. It also makes me feel compassionate for those people that are confused about their gender. It makes me think, no wonder we have this happening on the planet right now. You know, where people are saying, I now identify, for example, with being a woman, and yet I've been calling myself a man all this time, or I've got all the biology of a man. I mean, do you wonder why we're having these problems right now? When you read that, do you wonder what happened? It makes me wonder if this is what we're playing out, the Atlanteans experimenting with us. This is the reason why we're going through this process right now. I was quite astounded with people, with men trying to identify with being, saying when I now identify with being a woman. and I want to be treated as a woman, because that's been a narrative that's been coming up. I was quite annoyed with them, to tell the truth, because I thought, hey, you know, we've had to fight for everything, all our rights on this planet. There was a time we couldn't vote, we couldn't drive, we were not, these things were considered fair as sex and nothing, you know, through the ages. And I thought, you guys want to take that as well. But I see now there is more to this. There is more to this thing that is going on the planet. It is coming back because of people having an inkling. It's going back to the Akashic record. It's going back to the memories we lost. Because we're feeling things. Some things are coming out, but it's not coming out in full blown understanding, and we're transforming. So this is part of the transformation process. That's not to discount the fact that we need to be safe in public toilets, woman. I just want to say that. I am not, you know, because for me, that's my concern. Whatever anybody else is choosing is up to them, but that's my concern. So coming back to the card, I feel really sad about this, because it is sort of, this information blew up when I got this card out on Friday, when I pulled the card. The first card that I pulled out of this deck was this 33 card. Journey to Wholeness. So today I am really into this thing of forgiveness. Forgiveness is important. Things we don't understand, we need to be easy about it. Say, I don't understand it, and be okay with it. Just remember to keep your sovereignty, what you know and is true to yourself. Things I guess it's saying, let's take judgment away from the whole thing. And we need to find balance, though. Where is it that judgment comes in, and where is it that common sense comes in, and where is it that the higher self within you, your perspective, your intuition comes in with it? So, Claudia, I've said a lot.
You just threw some big things out there, right?
I know. Because it's big. Because it's big. And I don't know, I've just felt strongly, it's big. It's big. It doesn't have to be big for our session, but it's saying what it's saying. It's saying what is. And again, I'm reminded, and I stand here as a person who had my thoughts on it, that were probably my guidance system asking me to rethink what I'm thinking. This is about forgiveness and acceptance. The journey to wholeness, everyone is taking it, whatever that looks like when we reach that point. Will we ever reach that point? But the point is, right now, transformation, evolution of the planet into the next phase, evolution into the 5th dimension and above. What are you concerned about? And how do we balance out that we have to be aware, but we also cannot get caught up in the narratives? And we have to operate always from the platform of love. Okay. But
what I would like to do is say a couple of things, and then I would like to call a couple of galactic families in.
Yes.
That will be very helpful at this time. So the first thing that I want to say is our soul is androgynous. And that means we are at soul level whole. We have a masculine and a feminine. And then we choose who we are when we incarnate in the body, and we come with our own Akashic record full of experiences and memories that we want to go through now and clean up once and for all, in whatever way that shows itself. For some people, that is what you said, is this question of having chosen the right gender. For other people, it is being in very violent situations. For other people, it is going beyond their personal boundaries in a lot of ways. So it expresses itself in all sorts of different things. And it doesn't mean that one or the other is worse or better. It just is. It is a process that each individual has to go through. And again, it's like what you said, the only approach that others can bring to it is non-judgment and support and love, no matter where we all are and whatever we're choosing to address this time. So I would like to call in 2 star races. The first one is Beacon, which is one of my star family, and they are extremely non-judgmental and they accept everyone where they are at. Where everyone can be the way they are without being judged. That is the first person soul that I would like to invite. And the second one that popped to mind were Hadarians. Hadarians come from a planet that completely exists in unconditional love. There are no conditions. There are no restrictions on how to love someone. It's just completely unconditional. And then the third one actually that popped into my mind is the Mintakan race. The Mintakans who would never ever do anything to harm anybody, who cannot perceive of anyone doing anything that is not good in what they know as being good, and who also see the potential that every soul has got. So they see that they can see the bigger picture and they're here to support everyone from that aspect. So I would like all those 3 please to send us a representative so we can channel a message that will help us on our journey to wholeness and how to approach this as a collective. So if we can all please take a deep breath and connect with Mother Earth, seeing those roots grow out of the soles of our feet, really hooking into the core of Mother Earth, drawing on her strength and love and warmth to fill us, seeing that energy flowing back through our Earth Star chakra into our bodies and whole energy fields. Now we want to call in the 100% pure divine light of our source, of our home, to come down and clear and cleanse all our upper chakras, enter our physical bodies and our whole energy field, clear and cleanse anything that needs to go, that is not part of the light. And so it is. Now I know there's a speaker here already. I see them as very tall, regal beings. And I can feel the unconditional love of the Hadarian. I can feel it in my heart space. I hope you can feel it too. Really expanding my heart space and filling it with all the unconditional love that they have to give. And I can see a Mintakan who, funnily enough, also came from a utopian water world while we're talking about Lemuria, who can see the bigger picture. I can see them looking out to the future, seeing our potential of where we're going, where we are heading to as a collective, supporting us, cheering us on. So all 3 are here with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's take another deep breath to absorb all this energy that is here with us. Would like to get some feedback on what you may see, what you may feel from this for you personally, and what might be helpful to the collective as well. So the message is this: no matter what people are choosing, no matter what you are choosing at this point in your life, if this may be a big change, if it may be a small one, be respectful. Be respectful to yourself. Be respectful to those around you. Do not judge, because that is not a feeling of the fifth dimension. It is a lower third dimensional energy that you are wanting to move away from. Do not judge, because you have not walked in their shoes. You have not got their experiences and memories. You do not know what their catalyst for change is. Look at them with loving eyes. Look at yourself with loving eyes. Accept yourself for who you are and what you are addressing. What you are going through is causing big changes in your physical, your mental and emotional bodies. Don't be harsh. Don't be harsh on yourselves or anyone else around you, because that is not helping the process. Be loving, kind, patient, and trust that higher forces are at work to help each individual and the collective move forward at the speed that it needs to move forward. Don't be distracted by bigger themes and subjects, for they are just an expression of what needs to be brought up so people on an individual level and the collective as a whole can work on, process, and in a way tick off, move forward. You must do this with love, with loving eyes, as much as you can, for yourself and for everyone around you. We can only emphasize this. Do not judge. Do not take sides. Remain open and follow your own heart, your own guidance system on your own journey. Focus on that more than anything before you start criticizing others. Focus on yourself. Focus on what you want to change, for that is helping not only yourself but the collective as well. We will not go into details of what people are working through, for that is not important. The importance is the healing that is taking place for each and every one of you, in whatever form it expresses itself. Some people need to draw attention to their issues because they are looking for help. The subject may be too big for them to work through on their own. Just point your loving acceptance their way, your loving energy their way. That will give them strength to find their personal way, whichever form it may express itself. Do not judge. to send your unconditional love out to everyone who needs it. And the collective as a whole can rise above the challenges that it is facing. I feel the Hadarian wants to show us more than express it in words. So if you really feel into your own heart space, what can you feel at this point in time? Can you feel that expansion of unconditional love for yourself that you can radiate to your community, to the world, to the whole planet? For if you radiate that energy, nothing bad can happen to you, because you are holding space for your personal development and everyone else's. If you are feeling disgruntled or angry or caught up in your day-to-day lives or in bigger things that are coming through the media that you are feeling bombarded with, come back to this feeling of wholeness in your heart space. This feeling of encompassing divine love that is unconditional. And enveloping you in the beauty and stillness and peace of your personal divinity, of the divinity of your soul. Be gentle, gentle and kind and loving. Now the Mintakan is stepping forward. I can see them like with a, what's the word? Magnifying glass, or like almost like a, lost the word. They're standing there looking out at the future, having their eyes on the ultimate goal. That is what this person, this soul is trying to convey. Look at the ultimate goal, where humanity is moving towards, which is the upper dimensions, which is unconditional love, which is acceptance of who we are, each individual, of being valued, respected, and loved for our contributions to the whole of creation. So I see this great disc where all these gifts that each individual has slot together and they fall into place, and it's this bright golden disc that is us, that is the whole of creation. Everyone is loved. Everyone is treasured. Everyone is a part of it. No one is being left out. Everyone contributes in their own good way, has access, pure access to their gifts, to their part, their purpose of what they are wanting to create to help the greater good of all. That is what we should keep in mind. Work on ourselves so we can be that part of the disc. We can be that fully functioning part of creation. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all who helped us today.
Thank you, Claudia. And thank you to all the helpers, hey, the spiken is, I say spiker, you say speaker, I say spiker. The spiken is pretty tall, eh? Kind of long,
Yes.
long grayish white, not completely gray, but more white,
Yes.
long body, long head. Really loving nature energy, really beautiful. It was just like holding me. That was nice. I liked it.
Nice.
I want to
Nice.
say, I feel I need to say this before we conclude. For me, when I looked at this card, I'll put it up there again. I said a little bit of my thoughts on it before we went into the channeling. I'm not necessarily, well, no, I'm not following anything of the mainstream, but certain things are coming into our spaces because they do, because it's necessary. We hear about things, right? And when I said I want to be going into a public toilet and feeling free, feeling safe, what I meant is that if I go in there and I saw somebody that was, you know, not necessarily of the gender female, then I want to be safe there because, you know, historically that was something that you would not find in a woman's toilet, for example. That's what I said. So I'm sorry if I gave the wrong impression. When I talked about my thoughts, I want to say my thoughts were there because I use myself as a test, because I'd rather talk about myself than I would rather talk about anybody else. And I'd like to say for myself, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And if I have been off, when I say, are we surprised that we are having these conversations? I'm not being critical of it. I am saying, hey, if this happened in Lemuria and the Atlanteans, for example, were interfering with our genetics, is it no wonder that if we're starting to awaken, that we have this crossover where there's questions like this coming up, right? The other thing I want to say about the divine feminine, this woman, how sad is it if that was a woman, that a female energy, and then the legs were gone, right? For me, it made me, the narrative about this and this card made me realize perhaps where I have lost my memory. How traumatic was this experience that I've lost my memories of Lemuria? This might explain why I cannot swim. That was what this card was for me. It was so loaded. There is so much to this card. It was so loaded. It was so emotional for me. So what I think is, so that's what I just needed to explain myself when I say this, because it's important. It's important for us to operate from a non-judgmental space, but sometimes that's a challenge, even when you are doing all the meditation and you're working for higher purpose, and you most of the time, 90% of the time, you are operating from a high vibrational space. But right now things are being put forward in our space that really challenges and questions. But one of the things we've got to remember is that we're doing the evolution to the fifth dimensional, to the higher realms, right? And in that process, there's some things we will never have to worry about. Like I will never have to worry about my safety because I'm taken care of, right? I will never have to worry about that. But that third dimensional side of us is still there, and we're still in the physicality. We're here. And so remember, and there's stuff happening that's very third dimensional that we are so protected from. We are being kept away from it. But transformation doesn't mean, transformation means this to me, that even though I'm protected, it will stunt my transformation. It might prevent me from transforming to where I need to be if I do not address those other things that are still there that I haven't related to yet. And these things that are happening in the mainstream are there to bring that transformation through for us. So this is what I
it's a trigger. It's a trigger so we can have an internal discussion if there is a block for us.
Yeah.
And what we need to work on. That's all it is.
That's it. That's what it is. But sometimes when we're doing what we're doing now, we will talk about some things that will come out that'll be uncomfortable, maybe for anybody listening, even for us. However, it's necessary for us to do it because we are the ones that are doing the work. If you feel guided, if I felt guided to talk about that card, really, it was in my space the whole time. And I thought, okay, right, I'm going to do it. And that's what I've done. So anything else you want to say, Claudia, to that? And then
yes, I think I think we haven't really channeled on what you were talking about with the Lemurian Atlantean connection, with the sadness we felt in the card.
It's probably a discussion for another time.
I think maybe we can bring that up next time again and focus on
maybe in a few weeks after the next week we will bring that in, and it's just, and that's probably, there you go, that's something we probably need to work in terms of going back into the records and to sort of bring it in. And it's a collective message. We were talking about collective message. Here we go. I think we actually got our collective message through the last 2 weeks, right? Right. So to finish, anything else you want to say before I go to finish off?
No, thank you.
So to finish off today, I will do the Ho'oponopono prayer. I might do some language depending on what comes out of it. And there's two things that's coming to my mind. Transformation from the state is fast. It's not going to be like we have to work on it for a long, long time, because right now everything is escalated. So just remember that. So it's a thing about getting the healing and moving forward and coming into that next level for yourself, where you need to be, how you're going to carry on. It's important to remember that. We are, for me personally, and even the people I'm meeting, we are no longer delving in things for too long, because it's go time. We need to transform. We need to get moving. I understand that there's a lot of like, whose report do you believe? Believe the report within yourself. Hello, boy. And yeah, good boy. Yeah, believe the report within yourself, because your higher self, your intuition, your guides are gonna, ask the questions. Ask the questions. Okay, we okay to carry on? So, I want to point out one thing as well before we do that. Lemurians have reincarnated or incarnated, and have incarnated in places like New Zealand, Hawaii, Australia, in the Pacific. Okay, so there's a lot of us here, but I want to also say that a lot of Lemurians have an African energy about them too. And who knows, the continents would have been connected at one point, right? Because if you look at the edge of Africa and what India, Africa, and Australia, the continent of Australia, Australasia looks like, you almost can put them together. So keep that in mind. Oh. Oh. Just putting musicians mode on. O kirama lo kiano la kilamo lo kula kisham. O aila bekele kete to fo la kinaka. male kila male keto na kasafa keto na ketera keto mata kaye. Hi ukolo mai la kikono fam. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you and I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you and I love you. Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you and I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thank you and I love you. Ho'oponopono. 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 Hilo la kilo kola hea hoa. Hoa le mele kolo male. Kilo kolo maskala keto fai. Kola hea aloha aloha mea ho. Ina makato mai. Ina make mama kamai malamahi. Oma. Umahima umahe. We honor you. We honor you. We honor you, those that have gone before us. Samake tanake. We honor you, those that have gone before us. Samake tomokoro maite katapahina katopa nakahetoko. Shekara makatahina. Thank you. Thank you. Karamase katafahina. Thank you, Claudia. Kiribokata. Kiribokata makata nakata paketo. Check it out now. Nice.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
The tune for Ho'oponopono, that song was taken from. I listened to the Ho'oponopono prayer a lot. I've listened to it a lot in the past, and now and then in the recent times it's come to my space. It is sung and written, that tune in particular, by I can't remember his name. I'm going to put the link, but it was sung by him and his daughter and an American lady. I thought that was pretty profound because he's Japanese. They are Japanese. And the American lady is the opera singer, Susan Smith, I think is her name. And I'll put it in the link because I think, listen to that Ho'oponopono prayer. It will bring up the things you need. And I thought it was interesting because of Pearl Harbor, what had happened at Pearl Harbor at the Second World War, that these two people, he wrote it, he used the Ho'oponopono prayer in it, but he put some Japanese and he put some Hawaiian language in it because Ho'oponopono is Hawaiian. And I just thought that she's American and that that three-way connection there, that Ho'oponopono prayer was so profound because of Pearl Harbor. You know, so Rakatameka, it's interesting that the Hawaiian people are so forgiving. Karamase. You'll remember this, you will work it out. What I just said, I don't know what it is, but oh, yeah, a lot of energy, beautiful energy. Thank you to the guides that came today. Long may they visit us.
They're always here to help, no doubt about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys. Thank
you,
you.
everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Claudia, for your amazing work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaste, everyone. Next time.
Yes.